See all those wasps right there? They are protecting an entrance to a wasp nest right underneath those rocks. Nobody's going to be allowed to go near this area right here. Good morning, fellow pond enthusiasts. We are out here this morning in Williamson Valley, Arizona. Being a valley boy, I can tell you that it's a little chilly here at about 65 degrees at sunrise this morning. So I actually brought a jacket to wear, even though it's still blazing hot on the valley floor, just about an hour and a half away. Anyway, what brought us up here is a wetland filter that we built several years ago. And the guy we built it for, something happened in his life where all of a sudden he wasn't living up here in this beautiful house right here. And the place sat vacant for a couple of years, I guess, before the new owner bought it and took over. And what he came here to was a pond that was in some state of disrepair, starting with the wetland filter, which was completely overgrown and plugged up. So I've got a crew right in this area here working on that wetland filter we built here. And I'm gonna take you up there and show you a little bit about why it's a big job. Our stream starts here and it follows basically that pathway of all of the cattail all the way down into the main pond, about 200 feet-ish. You can see where our boulder waterfall has actually created some separation here. We're up on a hill. Right here is a nice waterfall that is designed to create sound for the sitting area over here, and was designed to create a view from down at the lake. They actually had a view of this waterfall, and that view no longer exists because the cattail and the reed, the bulrush reed was allowed to completely take over. So we're de-weeding the shoulders a little bit, and we're going to be thinning out some of the plant life in the stream to open it back up so water will flow freely through it. So as we come around this direction, this is full-size cattail right here. Not a desirable plant to have in a wetland like this. Right here, this smaller, more demure plant, this is blue iris. And then in the middle there, we had some water lilies growing because there's about a foot deep of water sitting on top on this wetland. We wanted to create an amphibious habitat using this wetland because this pond had no shallow shoreline areas for the amphibians. So we made this so it was amphibian friendly, and it was just allowed to completely get overgrown, obviously. By the time we're done thinning it, we're hoping that the blue iris and the water lilies is all that's left in here, at least under control and controllable. There's our clean out port right there, clean out chimney. And then this is the point that I'm standing on right now, is the point where the water rolls off a shallow weir point and then heads down through the stream bed and over that waterfall. So coming back here, I want you to notice where the water's shallow. This is where the original owner, where he was blowtorching the plants down, he was burning the rubber every time he came in contact with it. And he burned these holes in it, and they're all through the stream and in a couple of the shallow points on the wetland. Something you don't see much of in Arizona, beautiful weeping willow trees. This whole property was designed to look like something from the Midwest. The weeping willows certainly help with that. The views of the large open areas, there's herds of antelope running through the fields out in this direction over here. So this is the beach entry to a 1,000,000-gallon pond that is done with a polypropylene liner and concrete. A couple of things about concrete. People say use concrete because it's stronger. You see that's the shifting earth that is breaking the concrete up all the way around the pond. There's these huge breaks. Look at that separation. And that's just the earth moving underneath this concrete. I'll show you a spot right here where you can actually see water. I don't know if this is going to be visible or not with the camera, but with my eyes I can see a reflection of water down within that crack. And you can see that crack running all the way into the water and down. That creates a pretty good size leak if that concrete, as it's breaking and separating like that, it grabs hold of that liner it's sitting on top of, and as it's separating, it's tearing at that liner. So whatever liner was underneath this concrete is being damaged by the movement of the concrete. So the next time somebody tells you that concrete ponds are stronger, imagine that happening on one of our heavy-duty EPDM or polypropylene liners. It just doesn't happen. And the rock work that we put on top of the liner moves with the earth rather than cracking and tearing at the liner. So it's a lot less problematic. The owner's not here. We're up here working on it, and he told me there's game fish in the pond, and he said there's lots of them. Well, that's probably true. But as I sit here and feed them and take a look at what's feeding on the food I'm throwing in, I'm not finding very big game fish. In fact, they look pretty hungry. Now, part of that is a balance issue. There's no structure. The sides and everything within the pond is just smooth-sided. There's no structure in the pond whatsoever. So what you end up with is these skinny little game fish. Now, there's some larger ones out there you'll see coming up, but look how skinny they are. These fish are starving to death. That's not a good thing, and one of the next things we're going to be working on. He's wanting to know from me what it's going to cost to create structure around this entire pond. Make it look like one of our aquascape ponds. Ooh, looky here. Look at those catfish. Lots and lots of catfish in here. But so skinny, no meat on those bones at all. There's just too many fish, not enough forage. If you don't have structure, you're not going to have any forage. Where should all the dragonfly babies hang out and grow? Where would all the amphibians be laying their eggs and creating tadpoles and for these guys to feast on? As is, you know, Mother Nature's web of life isn't here. It's just a bowl of water with a bunch of fish in it. And because the fish don't have anything to forage on and there's nobody living here, fish are starving to death. We're finishing up our wetland clean out. Now, the owner hasn't done anything to this wetland in well over 5 years. We don't know how long, but what he was doing was just burning the plant material down to the water level. He created a lot of damage to some of the equipment in here. We've had to make some repairs. I showed you that. We still got some liner patching to do, and we still have a whole lot of plants to thin out. But after one day, we have several piles of plant material removed from the center area. We've completely opened up the center of this filter. We've got water flowing down the way it's supposed to, out into the stream bed and back out into the main body of water again. So that's not all plugged up and backed out. Now that it's functional, the water in the pond should clear up again. Back the last time I saw this feature, when it was still being well maintained, the water in the pond had about an 8-foot depth clarity. Right now we can't see more than 6 inches, 8 inches into it, and that's because this filter has not been operational for a few years. I'm confident that this filter cleaning is going to clear the water up in the pond, and then the next thing the client wants is more structure within the pond. We're going to do some boulder work, create some fish caves, rock in some walls so there's a nice condominium for amphibious life, and create forage for all these game fish in the pond so they don't all look like they're starving to death all the time. So when we get ready to do that part, that phase of the project, we'll be back here again on video to show you our journey through bringing this pond back to good health. I hope you all are enjoying your ponds and your ponds are in good health, but if you need any help with your pond, we have a great crew to help you out, and obviously they can get a lot of work done in a day. So if you need to play catch up with your pond, the Pond Gnome is the people to call. I hope you don't need us, but if you do, we'll be out to help you soon. Give us a call. Happy pondering.